into something. I know how to turn coal into gold. And you all like to know how to turn coal into gold too, I presume, so listen closely, and I'll tell you. How do we turn coal into gold? Well, first, we get cold. Ooh, we get real cold. And then we mix it with the pressure, both of us, together, with the immunity of a goal's lack of bedding. The coal will not lay flat or billow out. The gold has had enough of never covering the skin, and the clothes is welcomed in with a ceaseless precision that goes without saying so. We have not yet found ourselves under blankets. Now I'm sure you're listening closely, right? Because that's very valuable information there. How to turn coal into gold, and I'm not gonna say it again. I mean, unless for a price. You know, I know how to turn nothing into something. I know how to turn coal into gold, and well, I learned it from my grandmother because she was a swamp Yankee. She grew up in Swampfield, Connecticut, and that's where I'm from as well. And you know, if you had a problem, she'd go out in the backyard and find something to chew up and spit on it. And that's just how Swamp Yankee magic works. And she was living in a one-room boarding house with 2 illegitimate children that she was arrested twice for having. And that's what happened in Swampfield, Connecticut 2 generations ago when you had illegitimate children. And you know, one day the circus came to town. And with that circus, my grandfather, and he was 7 feet tall, and my father swears he didn't do anything weird, he just put up the tents. But I kind of doubt that, because there's a picture of him holding up a 1,000-pound steel girder by himself, and that shouldn't be humanly possible. So who knows what he did, but the circus came to town, and he bumped into Charlotte, my great-grandmother, and she was 5 feet of pure concrete, and they fell in love, and ever since then, she ran the house, you know. He ended up staying in Swampfield, Connecticut for the rest of his days, and so did my grandfather and my father and then me. And he started working for the city. They gave him a truck, and he built her a house on land he won in a card game out of shit he found at the dump. You know, one day he pulls up to the yard with a black-granite bathtub in the back, and she said, "You ain't never gonna get that thing off the truck." And he did. He built the house around it. One day my father met a woman, and she said, "Shaban, your name's Shaban, your grandfather, Paul Shaban." And he said, "Sure." And she said, "That man cheated me out of my birthright." And my father said, from how I hear it, he won that land fair and square, and she had to admit he was right. I grew up in that house, and I started writing poetry. I started feeling I could make something out of nothing, and I wrote this poem long before I found the jar of pennies. And it all made sense, and it started coming to me, and I started speaking with my grandmother, and once I realized it was all real, I could really make nothing out of something. I mean something out of nothing, because I found this jar of pennies, and I said to my father, "Oh, can I go cash these in?" He said, "No, you ain't." That is every lucky penny that Paul brought Charlotte their entire marriage. It was a coffee can full to the brim, and every time he would find a penny face up on the street or in the gutter, he'd pick it up, bring it home to her. It was full, and I looked back and I found this poem that I had written, and it goes like this. Her hands always smell like copper when she polishes each penny. I know she's made time for me. We exchange a few with our kiss out the door. We pay relief for the other's cold muscles by placing one by one onto the limb. Or, for a frantic head, we drop a whole palm's worth on the other like a birthday confetti prank. No one knows about our meager magic. What I can say is, the splash of a handful of dirty change on a granite counter is a sound almost as hard to forget as bed sheets. Crinkling with coins is easy to recall. How do we turn nothing into something? It all has to do with our words. It's what we can give to each other. It's what I can give to you. Thank you for being my audience, for listening about how I'm a trash person. I mean, my family stayed in that town for my whole life. My father was a garbage man. He found this in the dump, and you know what? I don't think that that's gonna go on much longer because I decided to return to the circus. And I found myself at the poetry brothel, the best freaking show that's going on these days. On the 24th and the 31st, we're having a show where we love to show you how we make something out of nothing. Thank you.
And we'll actually have a couple of the museum pieces at the Poetry Brothel for the 24th show. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do the other one, but I'll try. It's crazy. And by the way, with Kids Thing with Zero Boy, we did Zero Boy's event, and if you were here last month, you saw him doing the gangster logs. And we were actually at the gangster logs doing our thing, our gangster show. So we brought all our prohibition stuff and our gangster stuff to that show. So the next film I'm going to show is called Boogie Woogie, which is perfect right after Necessity, because Necessity Rainbow, because this one is a classic piece that kind of, like I said, inspired the piece that Nightmare Before Christmas. You know that Boogie Woogie Man during that scene? When you watch this, you realize, oh, so Tim Burton is obviously kind of doing a little nod to this person.